The Mighty Whites podcast is recorded at the Don Bennison Recording Studio in Allerton Bywater. For more information, visit donbennison.com or email info@donbennison.com.
Hi and welcome to episode 15 of the Mighty Whites podcast. We are going to get onto the badge very quickly, don't worry. I'm Jack, I'm joined by Connie.
Now then.
And Casey.
Hello.
Well, before Badgegate, we may as well talk about what might be the most depressed I've ever been. Well, the most depressed I've been leaving Ellen Road for a lot of years, I think. Leeds 3, Millwall 4. Let's all go with 2, Roof. I was so despondent by the time I left the ground.
Yeah, I was, but in a way, I could have been worse. The fact that the 10 men had got it back and got in front and the legs just gave out in the end. It was awful how it happened, but...
No, it's one of them weird ones. I don't think I'd have felt as bad if we'd have just got beat 4-0.
You can write it off at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't knock the 10 players that were left on that pitch. You know, to go in at half-time 2-0 down and to get it back to 3-2 like they did, fair play to them. Let's say just extra man told in end, I think. But it's a bit harsh, I think, people saying that Cooper didn't deserve a red card. He did deserve a red card. It was shocking.
It's a bad tackle.
Yeah. He didn't really catch him, and the physio was treating the wrong leg, and so he was faking it on the floor. But he was a bit high, and you just can't tackle that anymore. If
it had been the other way around, would have been baying for blood.
Yeah.
So
it's the same what I said about Uno Kane. If you give them that opportunity to go down like that, then most of the time they'll take it.
We've said it about a few things, haven't we, on field now? Where these players know the positions that they're getting themselves in situations, and
he's the fucking captain as well.
Well, it's his second red this year now, isn't it? After the Cardiff one.
Sent off at Cardiff too.
It just doesn't really set a good example, does it?
I mean,
both times he's, granted he missed at Millwall, but, he went in to kick him in air. He oofed whoever it was in air at Cardiff game. It just doesn't send out a good example, really.
I will say it's a shame that there wasn't a camera on me when I found out the final score, because I was on a training weekend and was getting updates on the score, and when I left the room we had been in, we were winning 3-2. I went back to my hotel room, stuck final score on, and it's going through the championship results. So you just hear Leeds United 3, Millwall 4. What the fuck? What happened? Oh, for God's sake, Saturday ruined.
Yeah. But well, I'll try and start with some of the good stuff and we'll move on. Christensen's changes at half-time going to a back three with wing-backs.
Yeah.
That really seemed to work. And as this is the week they're away training and working on stuff, I don't think that he will do it for the whole game, but do you think there's a chance that that's something he's looking at as a more permanent idea?
Maybe as a plan B, possibly. Whether he changes it completely and adds that as our main line-up, I doubt, but it's good to see that he's looking into a plan B if needed.
I think given how long we were playing with 10 men against Ipswich as well, he'd kind of seen some of the positives and some of the negatives of how we'd played like that, and thought, well, we might as well give something different a go. Calvin Phillips hasn't really in those games ever taken the midfield by the scruff of the neck as you'd like someone to. So if you're going to go 3 at the back, push someone a bit further forward and bypass your centre mids, then it's probably worth it.
Well, for as much as his half-time changes worked, you could argue that his changes with 10 minutes left really didn't.
I think the intentions of them changes were right. Just backfired, didn't it?
He just invited so much pressure.
Yeah. And the extra man obviously just told him, but I think his intentions were right, but it's just one of them. It's if it had worked out, we'd have been saying stroke of genius,
Yeah,
well
if we'd-
played, shut up
that's
shop,
true.
brilliant.
If we end up winning that 3-2 and Shaughnessy clears one offline at last minute, then it's the other way around, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I must admit, when he made the changes, everyone around me, I was saying in the ground, I understand why he's done that, but I wouldn't have done that. I'd have stuck, a Sacco on and gone, stand on the halfway line, and we're just going to, whenever we clear a ball, just run after it and try and take some pressure off us.
Yeah.
But it's easy after the fact. Steve Morrison.
Winger.
The shift.
Winger Steve Morrison.
I must admit, I was giving him fucking dog's abuse from Cop when he were pointing at name at the back of his shirt and geeing the crowd up, but if it had been a Leeds player doing it, I'd have thought it was hilarious. So
I thought he was pointing at the spelling mistake on the back of his shirt because he's missing an R.
yeah. The only weird thing that I had from that is if you're going up to the opposition fans and doing that and deliberately provoking the crowd, I'm relatively sure that's a yellow card.
Yeah, you'd have thought so.
Like, it's supposed to be. Yeah. And he did it twice in 10 minutes.
Juve got sent off against Brighton.
That was a slightly different thing.
Technicalities.
He's inciting Southern fans from the very south with his penis.
Yeah. I don't think it's just his crotchal area.
It was annoying as well because
That's a word for now. That's a new word. Crotchal.
Yeah. It's like the new word for between your balls and your ass. The Barsel region. We'll go back to some positives. In the second half, the tempo and just the way they went after it was really great to see. And I know that, we've sort of both vilified him and defended him at the same time a lot with Lasogga.
Yeah.
But God, he looked a lot better for not being played as a target man and being allowed to drop off and get the ball into feet and stuff.
Yeah,
annoyingly, when he wants to, he will make himself available. I think it was against Newport a few times. You just kind of saw him just dropping a couple of yards deeper just to try and receive it into his feet, and I think he just do that for 90 minutes instead of 10.
Yeah,
and
he still strikes me as someone that doesn't play well on his own and needs someone with him.
I still say that if he had a runner, you'd see a big difference. Whether him and Roof are the answer, I don't think they are, to be honest. But the idea of it, yeah, if you've got a willing runner on there with a big man, it's tried and tested, isn't it? We've had it at Leeds ourselves. It could end it there. I doubt he's going to be here beyond this season.
I'd be amazed if he's here next season.
So, if he's going to put in a performance like that and bag a couple of goals every now and again, fair enough, and see where we're at then.
I think I saw a stat online that makes him the third best goals per minute in the league. But the main thing, have you seen the video shot from the Cop of his second goal?
Yeah. You told me about it the other day. It's just a great thing to watch.
Get in the box, you fat... Go! It was great. But that leaves us 10th, 3 points off playoffs. I've been asked a few times, and I'd say that we are now odds on to not make the playoffs, but do you think we can make the playoffs still?
If we get a decent striker, yeah.
Yes.
Is it? Right, but now the more important question, do you think we will?
Yes. I think we'll come 5th or 6th.
I reckon so. I think
there's enough talent there, I think, to get us in.
I do think these next couple of games will be very important. We were saying last night, you look at us now missing Phillips. He's missing the next game. Yeah. Cooper's out.
Phillips is missing next 2.
Yeah.
No, he's missing next 2. Cooper's out for 4. Size has still got 4 after this. Yeah. And who else? And O'Kane's out.
Yeah, O'Kane's got 2 left.
Yeah, with 3 games.
So midfield-wise, bare bones.
We have got Forshaw, who looks like he will be ready for
I
Hull.
I would assume it'll be Forshaw
sure.
and Vieira.
Yeah.
So I'm just agreeing with you.
Cheers.
I can only imagine it will be him and Vieira.
Yeah.
Unless we happen to sign someone else in the next 15 minutes, really.
No, I'm going to be the negative one and say I don't think we will. I really want to be wrong. Like, make me be wrong. If we were to sign a Jack Marriott or someone like that, I might change my mind. But now onto, weirdly, it's in the mid card, but onto your main event of the evening.
It's Click. It's Click news. No?
Is that like that, a really weird version of Ricky Gervais' Monkey News? Click News.
Chimpanzee that. Click news.
So, yeah. Cameron Borthwick Jackson. How shit did you think the badge was? I mean, I know that you
we were having a conversation now to people that are listening. We have a group set up on Facebook to arrange when we're going to meet up and do these podcast recordings. We were talking about it.
Smashing kayfabe here.
we were talking about it. The badge reveal, saying that, you know, what we'd like. I think we all mentioned the rose, the classic LUFC, you know, owl, peacock, anything. And then when we saw that, you just, I think just the general theme, well, what the fuck is that? It genuinely, it looks like a cross between something that you do on word art and like I don't know, you know, like it looks like something that you'd have if, you know, to support a far-right campaign or something. It's just, yeah, fucking
That's
horrible.
Yeah, as it, the Leeds salute itself does not look like fascist because of the way it's done.
But that does.
But the still image, the still image does look a bit weird.
It's like I said yesterday to you all, West Ham's motto, slogan, whatever you want to say, is I'm forever blowing bubbles. It'd be the equivalent of them having a little kid blowing a tub of bubbles.
A little stick.
That's what we're talking here. It's just the sad thing is though is that they've paid someone good money to, and it's obviously passed.
It's not good money. I believe it's the, according to Twitter, #wood money.
But you know, it's gone through.
Lasogga and a new badge.
It's gone through a group of people, and you know, I'd love to meet these people that have sat there and gone.
There is at least 2 people who've gone, yeah, looks good.
For a centenary shirt, that's fantastic. Get it on there.
Yeah, that's it. There are. We'll try and go through some of the intellectual arguments about why it's shit. Like the Leeds salute shouldn't be commercialised.
No.
It's a fans thing. It should stay that way. There are, you know, it breaks away from the traditions. I know that the club don't. They've got this idea, and I can understand where they're coming from. I just disagree that the Yorkshire Rose isn't a Leeds thing. It's a Yorkshire thing, and they want a Leeds thing. I can understand that. I disagree.
Then
we should have it anyway.
I'm with you. I understand why they'd think that, but if that is the case, have the LUFC, just the classic LUFC.
That's the other thing that Kinnear was saying, wasn't he? That they don't want LUFC, they want Leeds United, so it's more identifiable.
Yeah, but it's a centenary. It should be identifiable to its fans, to the club.
I think it was that Ellen Dreed on Twitter. I mean, he's knocked up 50 badges probably recently, but he did one that I saw today, and all it is the 70s style LUFC diagonal, the one that I think is his best badge.
Yeah.
I know it says underneath in the text is like it says a century of football at Leeds United, 1919 to 2019.
Fine, done.
Perfect.
Even if they kept I'm looking on my. Even if they kept the shield that they've got now, and just had 1919, 2019, and something underneath it. Fine, I'd be happy with that. Yeah. Just something to commemorate the centenary. But even the old Shield of Arms, I think that'd be a great idea, for just for one season even. I think it'd be a great idea.
At what point do we turn our home shirt maroon?
Go full
or is
Arsenal.
that just Arsenal?
Go full Arsenal. But this was another. I know it'll take us away briefly from what we're getting at, but something I was going to ask you both: would you have it as white, or would you have it as blue and gold?
I really want the blue and gold.
I want the blue and gold.
I wouldn't mind us doing it for a year, but to be honest, I'd probably have white and just have a blue and gold away kit. That year.
No, see, you've got to have it as the home kit though, because it's really hard to wear that shirt away from home.
That's a fair point, actually. But
Whereas at home, that's not our problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not something that I'd be worried about, but I wouldn't be against it if
I mean,
to
personally,
do it for 1 year for the centenary.
Personally, I think it'd be a nice touch to have the blue and gold, even if it was something along the lines of the away shirt that we had in the late 90s.
Yeah, it was like
half and half.
97 to 99.
Yeah, something along that line, yeah. See, I won't be too opposed
in
to that
cotton
badge.
as well.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
Oh, I'd gladly go back to the 90s badge.
Yeah, I won't be opposed to that whatsoever.
But if they do want a new one, there's loads of options. But we'll go back to it anyway. They said, yeah, that was the other thing. I mean, this isn't just for the centenary. They wanted that to be the badge
Yeah.
permanently. But it was going to be the kit for the centenary year, and it doesn't have 1919 on it.
It did have a hashtag though.
Jesus.
I'm assuming that wouldn't be on the kit.
No, that wasn't actually part of the badge. That was part of the advertising.
Hashtag Martel.
But just everything about it, though. I mean, even down to the styling and the font of the Leeds United on that, it looked like something.
It
It
reminds
looked
me.
so tacky, didn't it? I mean,
It reminds me of, and you feel free to make fun of me when I reveal this to you. But
I say we don't watch My Little Pony.
Damn
should
it.
do. It's amazing. When I was younger, and to this day it has carried on, wasn't great at maths. So you could get these books that basically, for like each maths question and stuff like that, resulted in you getting like trying to win a game, and you got points for it. And it involved like designing your own shirt and badge and that. And it looks like the sort of thing I would have designed when I was 11 years old.
I'd say I have no knowledge of those books because I could add up.
Yeah.
But no,
Times tables are really hard, all right?
I mean, the thing that... I mean, it was a joke that I made immediately, that a million other people made immediately, all of them on Twitter. It looks like an old Pro Evolution Soccer badge from when they don't have licences.
Yeah.
As Aston Villa hinted at.
Oh, that was... that fair play to Aston Villa.
Yeah, you can't knock them on that.
West Midlands Village versus Yorkshire Whites. That was pretty funny. Did you ever think you'd see the day where Zamalek were taking the piss out of us?
I have a fucking clue who Zamalek were until now.
Just shows how big a club we are.
Because it really got me, because I said to you guys, like I'd been at work all morning and hadn't been able to check my phone, and I don't think I checked it until probably around 3:30. And it at times just felt like I was missing a load of phone calls. And then I looked at my phone and went, Jesus, I've got 74 tweeting at what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You see,
Oh,
you're thinking-
no.
You're thinking about that, like, yeah, 74 Twitter notifications. Imagine what, like, Phil Hayes is like. or the square ball.
Yeah.
They'll have, like,
Oh,
10,000.
Radrizani's. Must have had to throw his phone out the window.
Yeah. So, from what people can piece together, it seems that these 10,000 people were that survey that Radrizani tweeted out right at the start of the season. And the question was, like, what do you most associate with being a Leeds fan? And the salute came up a lot. But
Surprised it wasn't disappointment.
yeah. But the question had nothing to do with a badge. It was just, what do you like? What do you like the Leeds salute? Yeah. Oh well, that's your badge then.
Okay, we're going to do a survey. Do you like Lilt? Yes, Lilt is the best drink ever. There we go. We proved that.
Yeah. They have managed one very impressive feat. It is the most united the fan base has been about anything, probably in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Or at least that I can remember, because I don't really remember us winning the league.
I know we
Yeah.
did. I know we did the survey on Twitter, but
It came out like 90% no, 6% unsure, and 4% liked it. There's one guy in the office likes it, everyone else thinks it's horrible.
I was going to say, because I've not seen a single tweet of someone just saying they like it.
I've seen one or two. I did when it first came out, I was just retweeting various things, and there was one or two. But when I say one or two, I mean one or two. It really wasn't a lot.
As opposed to the several thousand.
Tens of thousands that
Well,
signed the
they
petition.
reckon that they spoke to 10,000 people, but I believe by the last time I looked was a few hours ago, and I think it was around about the 75,000 mark. And that's because it's slowed down because the club's back down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was announced at, midday.
Yeah.
And by the time Angus Kinnear went on BBC Radio Leeds at 6 p.m,
Wasn't it at 40,
it was at 50,000.
Yeah.
Like, near enough. It was
Yeah.
really close. Because I remember it clearly. I can't remember the guy that was doing the presenting job because it wasn't Adam Pope. I can't remember his name.
Gareth Jones.
Gareth Jones. That's it. Apologies, Gareth.
Good man.
But he'd clearly written his notes like a few hours before. Because it's had 15,000 signatures, and Adam Pope just went like 48.
Angus Kinnear's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
It was a real change in tack. Did you actually hear the TalkSport interview that he did when he was announcing it at the start? It was like, well, because Jim White asked him, look, it hasn't gone down all that well on Twitter. And he was like, oh, well, we knew it'd split opinion because it's a very bold new direction. But, we won't be changing it. And then 6 hours later, yeah, sorry. I believe I've got the quote. Yeah, we need to reopen the consultation process. The direction is so distinctive and breaks with a lot of conventions. That consultation process has not gone deep enough. I believe that's a contender for understatement of the year. Because when your consultation process hasn't gone deep enough? When the majority of your season ticket holders are hearing about it is when it starts getting rumoured at about 8 o'clock in the morning of the day it happens.
Yep.
Something tells me that it hasn't gone well.
I mean, I will say, I've not heard or seen anyone's like screaming out for our badge to be changed.
No, people weren't screaming out for it. But
I know there are certain people who don't like it because I think it carries in their minds it carries sort of imagery of Ridsdale and that era.
It has been the badge of a downfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, at the start it wasn't. But
overall,
for the couple of years, and then
I have to admit, when that badge first came out,
it's the badge of hope.
Live the dream.
When that badge first came out, if I remember rightly, I think more people didn't like it than did.
Well, if I remember rightly, the home shirt
it was
came
nothing
out
like
with
this,
on,
admittedly.
and we still had the old badge on the half yellow away shirt.
In fact, it was the shirt I'm wearing right now, which is the first, not the first Puma shirt. It was the Puma it was the second Puma and Packard Bell shirt with the gigantic collar and badge as big as my stomach.
The Michael Bridges
and that's
shirt. That's
considerable.
The Michael Bridges shirt.
Yeah. But the
Clyde Vinehard shirt.
I must admit though, I'm not actually averse to them changing the badge.
No, if they didn't, I wouldn't be bothered.
I'm not bothered for them doing it, but it's not the best. I'd much rather have the 70s LUFC badge or the circular with the rose from the 90s. I preferred both of them. And I dare say that we could do better than the one we've got now.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not that they changed it, it's what they tried to change it to that's the problem.
I mean, the badge that we've got, I mean, it covers everything. There's the LUFC's in there, it's the right colour, it's got the Yorkshire Rose in it.
I will say, though, now, because of how badly this went down, whatever they come up with next is going to be just... I think it's going to get torn to shreds anyway because we have no trust in them on this issue.
I don't think it's going to matter because I think they'll do 5 and put it to a vote.
I don't know because
that's what Everton did. That's what Palace I think did.
Didn't they
Palace
ask Angus Kinnear about that and he said something about, well, you see some of the submissions that come in or... it still doesn't mean that everyone's going to like it.
No, well, it isn't going to be everyone's going to like it, but it's going to be better than this one that everyone hates.
He honestly turned around and said, but when you see some of the submissions that come in, Why are you fucking sat here, Angus? You chose that one.
You submitted one and we fucking hated it.
I honestly, when I first saw it, because obviously it was embargoed information, like Phil here sent a tweet out saying, yes, I am here. The fact I'm not saying anything should tell you a lot.
Yeah.
So it was, obviously they already had it in the morning and it was all embargoed, but there was a couple of images sneaked out about 2 minutes to. So when I saw the first one, because it was before the official release, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought someone had just knocked that up to try and get some quick retweets and go a bit viral before the actual announcement.
Yeah.
And then when they actually announced it, I thought, oh, for fuck's sake.
I think the first time I properly saw it was a text from a friend of the podcast, Mark Young, with the words, "What the fuck have you done?"
Yeah, I got
And
that
he's
same,
a Bradford fan.
I got that
Yeah.
same message.
Yeah.
There was Bradford fans saying it. I saw some Millwall fans sympathising with us.
Oh, yeah. I saw Man United fans messaging saying, don't particularly like your club, but good God, that's harsh.
It was amazing. For one day, we were back to being a really, really massive club. All that anyone was talking about was Leeds United.
It was like 2003. We're a big club. We're famous for the wrong reasons.
They've said that they're going to reopen the consultation. I'm sure that they will do a better job this time because they can't do a worse one. But I genuinely think if they are going to change the badge, we'll end up with a good one because the fans have shown it. It made me proud, actually, in a way.
Yeah.
The
It
way
was
that the club just
so-
went, nah. They put it out on the fans, nah, fuck you, we're not doing this.
Yeah. It shows that they have got a bit of power now, of fans. You know, it just puts your faith back in it a little bit, you know, that the corporate machine that it's becoming now, football, that fans can make a difference to it. It's quite good to see.
Can you imagine if it had been Bates that put this out, though? Because he'd have heard her actually went, good, make it worse. Put a red rose on it. Change the home kit to red.
That's what I'm waiting for. The centenary shirt, they're going to give us a belting badge, but shirt's going to be fucking red.
Yeah, they'll say it's a callback to the one way.
To that game.
No, well, either that or we could have had the Chileno one and the badge just says, fuck the South Stand.
It's quite bad, though. Apparently, I was reading that some of the players that were involved, I haven't seen the video that went with it, but some of the players that were involved, I think Ian Hart was one of the names mentioned.
He was in the video.
He was in the video. I think there was a few people involved. I think there's other promotional material that we haven't seen as well that they've just abandoned.
Well, I think Ian Hart basically said that he wasn't on board with that. I don't know if it was a case that they hadn't seen it, and
yeah, I think from what they said, they filmed a video and stuff, but they hadn't actually
talk about what the Leeds badge means to you.
But they hadn't actually seen the badge. Apparently, the only people that saw it were I think the Supports Trust did see it, but they saw it in the evening the night before. And it was already signed off by then. So, I mean, yeah, maybe they should have kicked off a bit more than they did, and they have done since. Yeah. But I don't think there was much they could have done by that stage, to be honest.
Just imagine it, though, on East Stand. Imagine that badge on East Stand. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
All that green cladding.
Just thinking, if we'd have still had the LSS on side, it'd have tied in well, you know.
Rodar.
Yeah, skip, shite on side at stadium
I'll
as well.
I'll be honest, mate, with the way his arm was, I thought you were saying LSS on side because it's got SS in it.
It's all right.
Did you actually see the mocked up one of that?
Yep.
Where someone had, on the left arm that was going straight, put a Nazi sign.
Well, to be honest, can you remember those stickers you used to get as a kid where if you move them side to side, the image changes slightly? I'm just trying to picture one where it's like the Leeds salute and then you move it slightly and then all of a sudden the hand's in the air.
It'd be like Man City doing a 3D badge of them all doing Poznan. You know, you just fucking joke. Absolute joke. But I just look forward to see what they come up with next.
Yeah, I genuinely think they will hire some more people and stuff, but if of any sense, they will take some of these submissions, because some of them are spot on.
Yeah.
And
just whittle it down to 4 or 5.
They should have a couple of people at least look through and go, all right, they look nice, let's speak to these people, see if we can use at least the basis of this design for something.
That's the other thing. A lot of these ones that are getting sent in, I mean, I can't speak for the one that I like, but I know that a lot of the ones that are being sent, they are being sent in by professional graphic designers who just happen to be Leeds fans.
Yeah.
They do know what they're doing.
Who've gone, for fuck's sake, right here, just use this.
The thing that was worse is you saw some that were literally a bloke 5 minutes on Photoshop and he's not good at using it. And they were still better.
Yeah.
They looked shite and they were
the
still
one
better than
I
what
think the
we
one I
did.
knocked up on MS Paint last night just for a laugh was better.
Yeah, it was an interesting day.
Yeah, in a 15-year period of interesting days, shall we say? Yeah, it's definitely up there.
That's the good thing about it, I suppose, is that now that it's not going to happen, it's now funny.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have been funny if they'd have said, no, this is the badge.
I still think it's a weird, twisted PR stunt. Personally,
Yeah.
they've played a blinder.
If they'd have announced a different badge at 7 p.m,
Yeah.
like at the end of Angus Kinnear on Radio Leeds, they'd have just gone, "Lads, do you really think we're this stupid? Just have a look on Twitter in a minute." And then just walks out.
Yeah,
And then it comes up,
Mic drop.
awesome badge. And it just goes, "Do I have everybody's attention now?"
Sorry, I've just got an image of Angus Kinnear saying pipe bomb. That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
But no, we just had him just sat there talking about badges for an hour.
Well, no, it did eventually. Everyone calmed down, so it went back to sign a striker.
yeah.
Eventually.
So talk to me about them badges then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, it was shite, appalling, awful, horrendous, a really terrible, terrible idea, terribly executed. But I think we should move on to, like, other news.
Yeah,
Because
I think
we'll
we're
just
done
end
with it,
up,
aren't we?
we'll just end up going round in circles about how shite it is.
Yeah.
And it'll come up again.
Speaking of one person who's not going to wear that shit badge.
Speaking of going round in circles and looking shite, Cameron Borthwick Jackson has gone back to Scum.
Shocking.
Good.
Yeah.
Did he go straight back out on loan?
I haven't seen anything, so I think
I've
he's
not.
still there. I mean, when he played the couple of League Cup games at the start, I thought he might be going to be all right, but
Yeah, it looked like he got forward well and put a decent ball into box, but nah.
I think that there's a severe attitude problem there somewhere. I can't think of any other reason why he could be so much worse now than he was 3 years ago.
It were getting in and around that Man United first team. Granted, but when all said and done, it's Man United, and he were in and around that first team.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Something's gone wrong. Leeds apparently turned down Chris Martin on loan from Derby because his wages were like 35 grand a week or something. I know that he's not a bad striker and he fits the bill physically, but he's got 1 goal in 23.
yeah.
A lot of it's off bench, but
I don't know how I'd feel about it in a system that plays one striker having 2 strikers on loan on big wages.
yeah. Well, as I say, the thing with Chris Martin is that there was a lot of people on Twitter going, "Oh God, Leeds, we clearly ain't got any money." Well, maybe we ain't got any money for Chris Martin.
I was gonna say I think it's a bit naive in him saying that when we've gone out and spent 4.5 on Adam Forshaw.
Yeah, to be fair to him, when this Chris Martin thing happened, we hadn't signed Adam Forshaw yet. Because the next thing on the news, I believe it was a day or two later, was Leeds have signed Adam Forshaw. A deal worth up to $4.5 million. I'm not sure how much of it is up front, but I think it was about $3 million from what was said at the time. 4.5-year contract, another one.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Sold
looked,
by Christmas.
he looked solid. He looked solid last season in an admittedly not very good side
Yeah.
in Premier League, but he played a lot.
He's good friends with Stuart Dallas as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I did see.
Yeah.
He was like the one showing him around, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Stuff, 'cause they were at Brentford together, weren't they?
Yeah. So that could be interesting to watch.
This is going to be our new badge.
Noi.
I'm starting to think now, I don't think I've ever heard Stuart Dallas actually talk. I don't know how Northern Irish he is.
It's quite, from what I can remember, it's quite mild-mannered.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll continue just to assume that's what he sounds like.
odd tangent, but yeah, fair
Quite
enough.
threatening.
Do you think that Forshaw, once he's fit, will... I mean, I know that in theory he should be for money we've spent, but do you think with everyone fit that he's our first choice if we play a 2?
Probably has to be.
For that money, I'd want to see him at least rotating with
Because he's not old either, is he?
25,
Yeah,
26.
25, something like that.
For that,
24, for sure, for.
you know, for that sort of money though, I'd like to see him at least rotating with Kane, O'Kane even, not Kane, with O'Kane. I think when Vieira's fit, he's got to play as Vieira.
Yeah, the thing that's a bit weird with it for me is if we are going to play a 2, like Forshaw and Vieira are both the deeper midfielder. I mean, unless Forshaw is going to try and play in the Phillips role and be the one that gets box to box. But he only got one goal at Middlesbrough. That's not his strength. His strength is his passing and he's tidy and he.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who they pick.
I was just kind of surprised about it, given that we'd signed Yosuke as well, and I appreciate that he's gone out on loan. But you'd think that there will be a plan in place for him coming in the not too distant future.
Probably
definitely
the start of next season.
Definitely looking at him in the summer anyway. And at that point, then you've got 5 centre midfielders, all of whom have a right to claim a place in the first team.
None of them are old.
No.
Yeah. And who's the oldest in there? O'Kane?
O'Kane would be the oldest by start of next season. He might be 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
If you've got O'Kane, Forshaw, Vieira, Phillips, and Idaguchi next season.
Yeah.
and click.
See, people who are asking on Twitter, I told you he'd still be able to get him in. But it's a bit of a wait and see deal. It was a little bit more expensive than I would have expected him to be.
Yeah, probably so, but with where transfers are going at the moment, it's...
Yeah, I suppose
expected,
everything's
innit?
going up and up, especially English players.
Yeah.
There was a press report in Sweden that Southampton wanted Janssen after Van Dijk went, but Martin Dahlin came out and said Janssen's not interested in leaving.
Always been a big fan of Martin Dahlin. He's a good man.
Even when he scored against us, and by us I mean Leeds. I don't care about when he scored against...
I don't think it was shit.
Darlene, Broline, oh!
Yeah.
That's a Barry Davis
I
impression.
can understand that being the case now. I wouldn't be so sure that'll be the case in the summer. If they've got the money to burn. I know Janssen's got plenty of contract left, but if Southampton come in and say we'll give you 18 million.
Yeah, could go.
Honestly, and I don't mean this in a harsh way to Pontus, but if you're Southampton, you're probably looking for a top half Premier League finish. That must be like their goal for next season. I don't know why your target would be Pontus, who is admittedly, I think he's a very, very good central defender.
I think he's too good for the Championship, but I don't think he's a top half Premier League
Yeah, he
player.
wouldn't be my first choice.
The thing is, you're talking about Southampton here. Jack Stevens, Maya Yoshida.
But these are
They
all...
can't pick a centre-back. They've managed to get Van Dijk. Well done. But that didn't take any scouting. Half of Europe after him.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lot better than any of the centre-backs they have. So maybe it's relative. They think he looks like...
Yeah.
They think he looks like he should be walking into Juventus's team tomorrow. New Chiellini.
I think it would probably take a lot of money for him to offer us to sell him anyway.
Yeah, especially now. Well, he signed that 5-year contract, didn't he? So
Yeah. I mean, I'd just ask for silly money.
yeah.
I could fully understand it being him if in the summer, if by the end of the season we haven't gone up and Southampton come in for him. I could fully understand why you'd want to go. It's just more from Southampton's perspective. I don't quite understand it.
That's it. The one thing with us being run something like properly and giving people decent length contracts is if he does go, it'll be for some decent money.
Yeah.
Speaking of decent money, we had a bid rejected for Tyler Roberts from West Brom, who I haven't seen loads of. I've read quite a bit on because he is really highly rated. He's done all. He didn't score loads of goals at Walsall. He scored like 5 or 6, but it's his all-round play is quick. He's a bit like Roof in that he's a forward that can play wide. But apparently the bid was like 4 million, which sounded like a lot.
I'm all for going for young players.
The difference with him is he wouldn't have been under 23s. He'd have been in the first team.
Yeah, he'd have been for us. Yeah, well, for first team. But I think at this stage, I'm wanting someone who, not necessarily a marquee signing, but someone who can perform at this level.
Once they said it was 4 million, it was rejected. I thought, well, why not? I'd rather pay 5.5, 6 and try and get Marriott.
Yeah.
Something tells me you're a fan of Marriott.
I am. I quite like Jack Marriott. I think he's a really good player.
I don't know. You dropped some subtle hints in the last episode as well
about how I kept talking about how we should sign him because I think he's really good.
I think if we're going to throw around that money, bearing in mind that how giddy we all were, we went, Jesus Christ, we spent £1 million on Luke Murphy. He might be good. He was all right.
It's hard to believe when you look back that we were thinking that was a lot of money.
Yep.
Now we're spending that on players for the under 23s.
I like that. £1 million. Whoa, what are you doing? £1 million?
Yeah.
We all know player search, filter, free transfer.
Unattached.
Michael Brown. God.
No, it wouldn't shock me if we hear something else about that, but I think it was linked with Rangers, and I think they might get him because they don't have to pay a tribunal fee because it's a different country.
Yeah.
So it's like 300 grand instead of 4 million.
Yeah.
I could see him going up there, having a year, and then an English team buys him.
Coming back for 10 million or something daft off 15.
Pull a Zeki Friars, Liège, Spurs.
Yeah.
Pep Clotet got sacked by Oxford United.
I thought this was really harsh.
Yeah, well, they've got a mid-table budget, and they are like
mid-table.
11th.
Yeah.
From everything I've heard, that they're relying quite heavily on loan players. I think from a few of the things I've read, a mid-table budget might be generous, but I from what I gather and what I've read, it does seem a bit unfair.
The fans of them didn't seem that pissed off, to be honest. They'd gone. I think
there was I kind of saw a mix between those who weren't happy with the football they were playing and those who were realistic about why they were playing that style of football.
I think one of the things that did for him was when they got beat, they took a couple of real hammerings. Like they got beat 7-0 at home by someone, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Was it Wigan?
Yeah, I think it was Wigan. But things like that can do for you.
They say the stick, don't they?
Yeah.
If you're going to concede 7, at least score 4. Come on.
No. Well, remember the sad news of since the last podcast, Jimmy Armfield passed away at 82. I mean, obviously, he's before our time in terms of his involvement with Leeds, so we didn't really see any of it, but obviously he was in charge in 75 for European Cup, so we know him through that. I know him more, to be honest, from him being on radio and commentating on football, but he was really good. What I would say is because we weren't really there for it, there's been some very good obituaries written about him. I'd go up and look at one of them. But favourite story I heard about him was when Howard Wilkinson was moaning to the press. About getting all this criticism, and he goes, "Fine, how many caps did you lot win?" And Jimmy Anfield goes, 43.
It's worth looking out for. It's been about September, October last year. 5 Live did a very good podcast. One of their 5 Live specials did a very good piece on him. Probably about an hour and a half. It's just an interview with him.
If they've done that, by the way, they almost certainly re-aired it after he passed away, so it'll probably be on the iPlayer.
Yeah, it should be on the iPlayer. If you look in iTunes, they tend to keep their specials up for a long time as well. So it's definitely worth finding, just because he's so well spoken, so articulate just about his whole career, and it's just very interesting because you see all these players that move into punditry straight away, and they've all had media training, and then you hear of Jimmy Armfield, who actually trained
Yeah.
as a journalist.
He didn't do a bit of media training to be a pundit. When he was playing for Blackpool, he was doing evenings working for the Gazette.
Yeah.
He was a properly trained journalist.
Just, something started as you heard about him and just the whole perception about him. He was just a decent guy, wasn't he?
He's one that everyone seemed to like,
Yeah.
which is always a good sign. But as I say, it's a bit early for us to know loads and loads about him. I mean, all we really know is that he got cheated out of the European Cup.
Yeah.
That's our main knowledge.
It was interesting because by all accounts, it was very interesting reading Eddie Gray's comments about basically saying he saved my career.
Yeah, he was ready to retire, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know he'd had a lot of problems with injuries, hadn't he? And but between that and I think I remember reading somewhere that essentially I think Don Revie went up to him when he took over, just send them out there. They know what to do. just tell them what they need to do, and they will do that job for you. And I think most of the players like him, and given how you see how he comes across, he never raises his voice, he never gets angry. He just very clearly explains his point. And I imagine that he'd be very similar with players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the reason why I've put that in middle is just because I've written these notes in chronological order of when it happened. So, yeah, it's a shame, but I mean, he 82 was not a bad innings, and he seems to have had a very decent life. So, on to what KC will consider the biggest news.
Click news.
#clicks gone. Oh why?
Yeah, Click FC Utrecht on loan for the rest of the season. To be honest, there's not really much to say. We've already talked about his performances this season. The only thing I want to know is, do you think we'll ever see him in a Leeds United shirt again? Outside of a friendly? Because we might see him in friendlies at the start of next season.
In a competitive game, no.
The best I think you'll see him in is an early League Cup game. Yeah. But honestly, I think it might be very much a case of trying to find him a club. You can go.
Yeah, as I don't think we'll see him again, I kind of hope he rips it up at Utrecht, so they might give us back like the $1.5 million that we spend on him.
Yeah. I do feel a bit for him because when he has played, for the most part, he's not tall up any trees, but he's just done the basics, hasn't he?
He's been between Cardiff game aside where he screwed up. He's been between a 5 and a 6 out of 10. He hasn't been absolutely awful. It's just we've got that many midfielders and most of them are better than him.
I think we should agree now, just for KC's purpose more than all, to do a loan watch on him for the rest of the season. Yeah. I'll happily commit to it if you want.
No, I believe that if that job happens, it has to be KC.
We will call it Click News, and we will make it a dedicated part of this podcast just for you.
I want it to be like one of the players who said, I'm trying to remember who it was. I might be thinking of Football Manager now, but when you send a player out on loan and then they make the odd sub appearance here and there, and that's it. You just like, any news on them? 10 minutes at the end.
Are we talking about Wassim Boy here?
That would be a great one to do.
This is the second podcast in a row. The second podcast in a row that one of you has mentioned Wassim Boy, and I've gone, oh yeah, he's still here.
He's a thing. He turned up and left and came back.
Yeah.
Because we were saying, I think I said to you, like, looking at our central midfield options, once you've got Vieira and Forshaw playing, who's next in line as central mid?
I would bet Phillips, then O'Kane.
No, sorry, I meant for this week, as in...
Oh, this week.
It's like Oriol Ray, Romario, Vieira.
Actually, that's something we were talking about in the on way to the quiz that we go to. I think Oriol Ray will be on the bench against Hull.
Yeah.
Because I would rather have our backup centre mid now that Click's out and everyone else is suspended. If it's Vieira and Forshaw, I'd have Ray over Shaughnessy as a midfielder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me off. And apparently, everyone who watches the under-23s all the time has been saying he's been consistently one of the best players.
Well, if with Cooper being out as well, Pennington will come in, so Shaughnessy's
will
kind
be
of the
needed as a
default
centre
defender.
half.
Yeah.
So we definitely need a centre mid on there.
So yeah, might maybe a chance that we'll see Ollie Ollie in the squad. Speaking of players who've been playing in the under-23s, they finally listened.
Yep. And look what happened.
Under-23s beat Huddersfield 1-0. Big J-Boy.
Feed the grot and he will score.
Well, it's not just us. I mean, everyone has been banging on about it for months. Why isn't he getting a go in the under-23s, getting some confidence? Put him in, first goal, nice tidy finish.
Yeah.
His right foot.
Fairly composed, nice
He
one-on-one situation.
He won the penalty that Sarkic missed as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
it's not only, it's like...
And you can't win penalties on the right wing. So he might have been in the right position.
We need to stop saying right wing after that badge.
Yeah. There's enough of a stigma about the club as it is. Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, I wouldn't be too opposed to him staying in there now for the rest of this season. And then
just called up if needed.
Yeah, if needed. And then see where we're at next season with him. I'd like to, because the idea of him, big lad, who, he should be knocking people around left, right and centre, and he's just not doing that. I said there's not much of it you can do on wing, is there? But, I'd like to hope that it'll give him confidence he needs and then come back in next pre-season and, be a sort of different player.
Well, he'll certainly have plenty of competition in training for the striker spot in the under-23s. And adding to it, we've signed Sam Dolby from Leyton Orient. 2.5-year deal. He's straight into under-23s. From the stuff I've read about him, he's fairly quick and he's like 6'3", left-footed, which you don't expect quick, but it appears he's another one that's tall, but he's not really a target man. He's more of he's a proper footballer, apparently. He drops off the front quite well.
Complete forward.
I mean, admittedly, the stuff that the Leyton Orient fans were really impressed with him last season in League Two. I know they went down, but that was because their club was completely knackered.
Yeah.
But I mean, this will not be an actual measure of quality, but I did see a lot of them saying he looked better than when we had Kane on loan.
Honestly, if in 5 years' time these under-23s aren't leading us to European Cup glory, this has all been a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, but he's another one. Wait and see.
Yeah. There's not about like you can add to it, is there?
Along with Ray,
Ryan Edmondson,
Boy.
No, Boy. The Boy, I hold out no hope. The weird one that I only saw today, actually, it was on Landskrona's website in Sweden. Apparently, Bailey Peacock Farrell is on a 3-day trial at Landskrona.
This is literally the first I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably with a view to going there on loan.
Says a lot about Jack's browsing habits.
Yeah.
No, what it does...
across the Landskrona website.
No, what it does say a lot about is the two people on Twitter. I think there's one at Dean Court and one that is at Dazzler something. They're really good at seeing stuff like this, and I normally see it on their Twitter. That's where I got it from. But yeah, that might not be a bad plan. Oh, they're in the Super Etan, which is their second division. So
didn't even know it had a name.
Yeah, well,
it's like old Championship managers, Swedish second league.
Yeah, all Svenskan is top division. Spot the guy who's had to price up Swedish football before.
I was going to go with spot the guys that have played a lot of FIFA.
I was going to say spot the nerd. Nerd.
But yeah, as I've always said, goalkeepers are the one place where it doesn't matter quite as much what level they go to.
No.
I mean, it helps if it's as high as possible, but if he went and played a full season there, as long as he's first choice, that'd be fine. And Sweden is getting a little bit... They're starting to get a few British players up there. They're starting to get a little bit more common. And it's normally ones from lower clubs that are taking a chance.
Yeah.
So...
If I remember rightly, the Portland Timbers... He kind of alternates between first choice and sub-keeper this last couple of years, but he's from New Zealand. I know he spent like a year in Sweden or in Scandinavia anyway, just for a bizarre loan spell. Just I'll travel halfway across the world.
I think they've just started taking chances on people. So
I think English speakers are probably a good shout out there because, as we all know, the Scandinavians and the Dutch are much better at English than we are.
Especially the Dutch. They have much better English than we are.
Yes.
Proving his own point by accident
See?
there.
Told you.
There's a couple more. Malik Wilkes has been linked to a loan to Carlisle for the rest of the season.
I hope he goes.
Yeah.
Mike Grella 2.0.
Again, so long as he's playing, it's fine.
Yep.
And the last one, and this one's weird because it was on literally one of the Sunderland blogs on SB Nation like a week ago, and nowhere else. So I thought it was bollocks. And now today it's come back that Sunderland want Andy Lonergan. As far as I'm concerned, have him.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be even if Peacock Fowler's off on loan, I've no problem with us putting Miyazek on bench.
No, get him on
Hoffer.
bench.
And Will Huffer as well. For the sub keeper, I don't think
really
it's
matter, does it? I'd be happy with that. It's
I think was it Phil Hay that said, the Football Insider story, and Football Insider sounds like bollocks, doesn't it? But it's Pete O'Rourke, who is an actual journalist, and they've got a couple of things right recently. They were very early on the Forshaw one. They were the first by a day on the Sam Dolby story. So I think that maybe there could well be something to it. They're saying that we want a player in return off them, but no one can quite figure out who that is. Because they've got a couple of players that could maybe be options, but they'd be really expensive. And everyone else at Sunderland is shite.
Wabi Kazra.
Is Wabi Kazri still there?
He may be out on loan.
He might have gone to France again.
Yeah.
There was a few people
Honestly, at
saying
this point-
Rodwell, but
No.
as I said, I put on Twitter, he's on 70 grand a
No.
week. He's on 70 grand a week. If he dropped it to 5, I might be willing to give him a deal till end of the season. And someone came back to me and said, 3.
Yeah, fair play.
But I can't see who it'd be. Phil Hay was saying that if Lonergan did go, we'd probably look to sign another keeper, and he reckoned Adam Bogdad on loan might be a thing.
Yeah, apparently
But they've
Bogdan's
got-
still knocking about. Is it at Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yes,
still at Liverpool.
he's on the books at Liverpool.
And they've got Mignolet and Carrius, haven't they? So they're not.
Mignolet can't get in the starting lineup at the moment.
Let's not forget, they did have Alex Manninger as well. Did Liverpool that
Still
long
on the
ago.
go, still looks 23.
Yeah.
My lasting memory of Adam Bogdan at Leeds will be, you ginger bastard, get out of the sun.
Oh, you're giving dog abuse then. Still Stephen Warnock scored that day.
Yep.
Passed it into the bottom corner.
Yeah. Well, that's all the news. I believe that the full quiz that Connie was going to do is having to be delayed till next podcast because he got stuck at work.
Yes. I have got a
Job.
I turn up. I think to go as far as calling it a full job is a bit of a stretch, but I do turn up. I do have a who played though for us to.
It's officially known
that
as
is now a
who-
thing now.
who plays.
It is officially a plural singular.
I do have one of them for you this
Looking
time
for his
around.
pen.
Looking for the pen, which
It's misplaced.
I really don't know what the figure. I'm sat there.
Well, we'll definitely leave that in.
So,
I believe. Does that mean that we need to cue the quiz bed?
are we going to have a jingle for it?
No, not a jingle, just the quiz bed.
Yeah, do it.
We can work on a jingle later.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Dom Magic's it in.
Yeah. You just wait. That's going to sound awesome after we edit.
Oh dear.
Dom, put it in a second before the clap. We're just on the YouTube video, it just pops up, fuck you, Rob Shaw.
You can't tell me what to do.
We good?
Yeah.
Right. The game I have opted for this time round, I've gone back slightly further than the previous two that we've done.
Well, we had this season in 2010.
Yeah. I've gone back a few years prior to that. I've opted for our final game in the Championship before the relegation to League One.
Oh, he's changed this on me.
Is that the Ipswich game?
No, that was our final home game.
No,
Oh
but yeah.
no, it's the Derby game.
It's the Derby game.
Oh God.
Away from home, we got beat 2-0 that day.
I have to admit, I don't remember this game at all.
All I remember why he's made a fuck ton of changes.
This might be worth having 2 lives instead of 1.
I think so.
I was going to say I am happy to increase the number of lives. Now,
I'm
yeah,
not sure. I'm not sure of any.
I've got one. I've got a solid one.
This could be embarrassing. This one. I mean, that's probably the year in my life that I went to the fewest matches. I think I only went to like 5 or 6 that whole season.
I decided to go because, in a way, it is a pretty pivotal game. I think in club's history for all wrong reasons, but still. So yeah, we'll give it a crack.
Hull were off having a party that day, and
we were crying. Yeah.
So Derby away, last day of that season.
I will do a coin toss as well for this as well. Jack, if you want to call it.
I'll call it. I'll be honest. I want to lose.
Heads or tails?
I will take heads.
Heads it is.
KC, you can go first. I'm hoping if he gets one right, it might help me.
Right then. We'll do the same rules as before. Point per correct answer. If whoever gets it wrong, I will pass it over to the other one.
Yeah, and we'll say 2 lives for now. If we embarrass ourselves, it might become 3.
I'm happy to add a
6
lucky life
lives.
in there if needed. Right then, KC.
Robert Bailey.
That's a belting start. Well
That
played.
does not help me.
He got sent off in that game, didn't he?
That I can't disclose. I don't know. We will say yeah.
Pretty sure it was him.
Roberto Bailey.
Yes, Roberto
Bailey.
Bailey. Fucking knock off Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's a solid start from KC there. So over to you, Jack.
I'm genuine. Was this 07?
It was the 06-07
Yeah.
season. Yes.
I couldn't even remember what year it was.
It was the year of the Bet24 kits,
07.
which, according to the billboard at the start of the season, was going to be our year.
I've just realised that KC has a massive unfair advantage on this question.
Because of my...
The 06-07 season, which football manager?
No, that's Football Manager. No, it is that one.
Yeah, it's the year they went down.
But that's the one that he was
Like I
still
said-
playing
it's like I said,
6 months ago.
Fucking Windows 10.
Right. Who was definitely there? He was there, but he might have been out on loan. So I am so stumped here. It's like nothing else on earth. I don't even know if we had him yet. Ankergren in goal?
Is correct.
It's a good shout. That was my next one.
I really... If I get 2 of these, I'm alright with it.
Just think Sporkle and some of the shite that you go for, and you miss out Lee Bowyer on the 2000-2009 players. So KC, 1-1. Over to you.
If I remember rightly, he played at least some of the game at centre back. I'm going to go with Richard Cresswell.
Richard Cresswell is correct. It's a good call.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at half time he switched to centre back for some reason. Because fuck it, you've been relegated. Why not put Richard Cresswell at centre half?
So that is 2-1 to KC as it stands. Over to you, Jack.
I'm sure he left the following summer. So Robbie Blake.
Robbie Blake is correct. KC.
I'm gonna guess that he played at left back. I'm gonna go with Eddie Lewis.
Eddie Lewis is incorrect.
Ooh.
1 life off for KC.
This isn't like the others where you're like, ooh, he's got it wrong. There's going to be loads of it. Was he on loan the season we went down? Or the season before? Radostin Kishishev.
Radostin Kishishev is incorrect.
I think
He was there
It was that season.
though. He was
I
there.
think he'd gone back. I think we only had him for 3 months.
Yeah.
He came back,
remember.
didn't he, the next season?
He came back the next
Shite.
season.
Yeah, he came back and was useless.
Yeah.
He was part of that loan curse.
I think we'd broken him in the first spell.
Yeah, to be fair, we wouldn't have to break anyone.
Ooh. I know he used a couple of youngsters in that game.
I will tell you both now, because it is a pretty tough one, there were a number of younger players at the time. A couple of them are
The Roberto Baileys of the world.
Yeah. So it's one wrong each.
Yes. At the moment, 2-2 with 1 life lost each.
Younger players. Oh, there's one that's popped into my head. Scott Gardner.
Scott Gardner is incorrect.
Oh no!
Luxembourgian. Johnny Howson.
Johnny Howson is correct. He came off the bench that day.
What? Howson played in, Scott Gardner didn't.
They can't judge a player.
Ooh, alright, in that case. I'm trying to remember who we had now. Fraser Richardson?
Final.
For God's sake.
He said it now.
You've said
Oh,
it, so
I've
I've got to
said it.
do it. Fraser Richardson is incorrect.
Oh God. This is disastrous.
I mean, I know he did well in League One, but he might have been out on loan when we were in Championship. It might be when he was at Hull. Louis Marquez.
Louis Marquez is correct. I think I've picked well here, personally.
Oh, this is like my FA Cup one was quite tough. This is by far the hardest one of these we've had.
Am I still in?
Yeah,
I think at this point we just need to go and then just see who gets the most.
for the
of
minute
them
we'll
right.
say 3 lives, but if we keep getting them wrong, it might become 5. We'll just.
Well, we can't go on 3 because Casey's out then.
Yeah, all right. Oh, has he already got 3 wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I'm trying to think. There's a couple of players. Again, there's a few we had out on loan. Young players. Who was around at that time? Simon Madden?
I think his only game was a League Cup game, but I'm not sure.
Jack is possibly right because he did not play that game.
I know he played one. I can remember that he played
It was
one.
JPT.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Kicked a man in the face.
So Jack over to Jack, who's only lost 1 life so far.
That's bordering on a miracle.
Yeah.
I'm faking my way through this, something wrong. I'm trying to think who was still there by that point.
Oh, there was about 50 of them.
Oh yeah, there was loads, but I'm really struggling here. Right.
It's going to push up the time at podcast at
Yeah,
least
definitely.
anyway.
We've got keeper, got 1 centre back.
I will give you the positions
Bailey
you've
in
got so far.
midfield.
You've got Anchor Green that you've got in goal. Rui Marquez at centre back. Roberto Bailey in centre mid. Robbie Blake, who I'm assuming played out wide that day, and Richard Cresswell, who played up front and in defence that day. And off the bench, you've got Johnny House.
I honestly don't remember when he left. Healy?
David Healy is incorrect.
He was still there though.
Was he still there?
Yeah, yeah. He left that summer. He went to
Yeah.
Fulham, didn't he?
Yeah.
Fulham. Yeah.
With Laurie Sanchez.
Yeah, because Bobby Blake went to Premier League Burnley.
Scored against Man
Scored
United.
against Scotland.
Belting girl.
Right.
What I will say is, think more, and I'm happy to do it because it is a toughie. Think along the lines of our first year in League One and youngsters and loan players.
Yeah.
Think along them lines.
Did Tom Elliott play?
Tom Elliott was on the bench that day. Well played.
He came off the bench?
He came off the bench that day. I have got 2 unused substitutes on there as well, which we can scrap.
Yeah, they're not supposed to.
Sorry,
be
I forgot about the days of 5 substitutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have now got 1 sub left, then who came off the bench, and whoever's left
most
in
of the
starting
team.
Rest of
lineup.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah. This seems like we're artificially stretching it, but I really am struggling. This season is like gone.
Fucking blur.
Annoyingly, I could list off most of the squad at this point, like as it has been mentioned, my love of FM07.
When I do that Sporkle quiz, the Leeds United players 2000 to 2009, this sort of era, I'm pretty good on. Just by the amount of shite that we had rock up at that point.
If the striker isn't Healy and it isn't Cresswell, and Tom Elliott was on the bench, but I don't know if he was still here. Rob Hulse?
Rob Hulse is incorrect.
No, he'd left the season before.
Yeah,
He went to Sheffield United, didn't he?
I say I'm not exaggerating with this season when I say it's probably the least I've ever been.
Ian Moore.
Ian Moore was an unused substitute
That's unlucky.
that day.
That's unlucky.
All right, now I am out of strikers.
So I will have to give you a
Yeah.
off for that.
As I say, there's, I won't
You went
wo-
on 5.
I won't worry too much about the lives at this stage.
Nah. Just whoever gets the most of the lineup right, I'm happy to declare the winner.
Yeah.
Again, as I say, think first for quite a few. First year in League One, a few loan players.
Who did we have in League One that will have been? God, this is a right bollock of a one you've done here. It's,
I've thought of another youngster.
see, I can't even think of. I can only think of one, and I'm fairly certain he didn't make his debut till the next season. So. Was Delph involved at like 16?
You saying Fabian Delph?
Yeah.
Fabian Delph was a substitute that day, and he did come on.
I'd say that was. I did think of him a while ago, but I'd have sworn he made his debut the next season.
All the subs are now done. Tom Elliott, Fabian Delph, and Johnny Howson that day.
Rethinking my youngster then.
To be honest now, I will say this. There are no more youngsters left.
Oh man, Stefan Connor was going to get a mention.
Sanchez Payne.
Remember that goal he scored in that friendly at Farsley?
Belting goal.
In that case then, since we've gone through most of the strikers, I'm going to say Tor Andre Flo.
Is incorrect.
Oh, for God's sake.
I thought we didn't get him till the next season.
No, he came in that
League
season.
One.
Did he come in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must have played about
I didn't realise
5
he'd come in
games.
the championship thing. I thought that was.
Didn't he come in when we got Candle? On loan from Barnet.
Candle
came in the championship.
Candle came at the start of the season.
It's like Beckford. He came in 05 or 06, did Beckford. Just never played.
Candle loaning a player up.
Yeah, as you've said him then, but I'm assuming that'll have been when Beckford was at Scunthorpe, wasn't it? On loan.
Yes.
So it can't be him.
Helping him out.
No, I
It's
didn't. I
unbelievable.
didn't say that as an answer. But I was saying that's when he wasn't here.
Leading the witness. Come on.
I'd say something about badgering the witness, but you get upset about your grey hair.
Shots fired, Lawler.
I am really, really struggling. Shite loan players who might have still been there. Darren Kenton.
Darren Kenton is incorrect, but it's not a bad shout.
It is. It's totally the wrong season.
I'd say.
I thought he was there the year we went
No.
down. Wasn't he in League One?
Yeah, he's a League One player.
You see,
Jesus.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this season is. I've got very little
I
recollection.
think I've brought the Who Blades.
Yeah.
Right, in that case, then I'm going to go with Jonathan Douglas.
Surprisingly, you are wrong on that one.
God's sake.
we might fuck this off in a minute.
At this point, we just need a buzz.
This is just. Oh God, people at home. Listen to them. They're not even real fans.
To be fair though, this was fucking anti-football this season.
I think
wasn't it?
after Jack's goal, we need to make this rapid fire. Just throw names at you.
I can't go rapid fire. I can't think of names that even.
all on getting him to get one.
Yeah.
I think Dom's asleep in the booth.
I don't think we had him yet.
Right.
Did we have Kisnorbo yet?
No.
No.
No, I didn't think we did.
What I'm going to say to you is, to help you both out, the defence, I believe one was a loan. I believe.
Mikulik.
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The other two.
That's fair enough. It was your go.
The other two, I believe, were permanent. I know one was. I'm pretty confident the other one was as well. Two of the midfielders that you've missed, you should get.
The problem is, I cannot
should
remember
get.
when these players came in at all.
They played for us. The two midfielders that you need played for us in League One, the first season, and
Jonathan Douglas.
I'm gonna say, I think he'll have played on the wing this game.
Trezor Candle on the wing.
If he played a lot in League One and ends up on the wing, but you said it in a way that he shouldn't have.
I'm not sure. I think he should be on the wing, but I don't know that much about him to say. All I will say is American.
American, and it's not Eddie Lewis.
Yes.
Then
Jesus.
Robbie Rogers.
No.
I can't think of another American.
He was a loan signing.
Oh shit! I think I might know what it is.
I don't. Oh, it's back on me anyway, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Ian Westlake.
Ian Westlake is incorrect.
I
Okay.
wouldn't mind, but I haven't named a player that wasn't in the squad that year.
Someone else who was American, and we had. You might have to give me some grace on the first name.
Go on.
Jermaine or Jamal Johnson.
Jamal Johnson is correct.
See, he played in that game.
Jamal Johnson played in that game.
I said
Wow.
I wouldn't have got that without American, and I'd forgotten he
I
existed.
did not think he was here then.
So you've got the two midfielders left who played for us in League One. Did a decent job, to be fair, that first season in League One. The defence, as I say, one of them was definitely a loan, I believe. The other two, one was definitely a permanent signing. The other one I'm not 100% on. All three left that summer.
All three of the back four that are left. left that summer.
Is it my go?
Yeah.
Matt Heath.
Matt Heath is incorrect.
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. What a team this was.
Left at the end, and two midfielders from League One.
Did a decent job, to be fair, first year.
I'm sure we signed him the next season.
I still don't think Jamal Johnson played in that game.
Just for the record, this will probably be the last Who Played we'll do on the podcast.
Just you wait till I pick the team from our very first game in 1990.
I could understand if I'd gone back to like
The 80s or
it's
something.
like fucking 1984.
It's just because this is like the void of.
I'll try and forget this year.
This is where we were so bad we invaded the pitch.
This is payback for both of you fucking beating me previous to
Connie's beating us without even playing. Still Jack's go, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really aren't trying to take this long.
At least I have the good grace to just throw a name out there at this point.
I can't come up with. I'm drawing a proper blank. Like, just nothing is there. That season, I think it was that season. It might have been the season before, and he was on loan. Armando Sarr.
Incorrect.
I think that is that season, isn't it?
Yes.
It is that season. Mikulik.
You just said
Said
Mikulik.
Mikulik.
Did I say
Yeah,
Mikulik?
you just
Oh, fucking hell.
That was your last guess.
I'm adamant he played. Hayden Fox.
Hayden Fox played that game.
Yes! I'm back.
In all fairness.
So that's the centre back. So that's the centre back partnership done. Rui Marquez and Hayden Fox.
By the way, once you downloaded the patch on
We
FM,
went-
your three centre backs are Marquez, Heath, and Fox. We were fucked.
So we're missing both fullbacks, and one of them's alone.
One of them could play centre back as well.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Both played in the Premier League. One of them, the one on loan, we loaned from the Premier League.
One of their names begins.
Robbie Elliott.
Robbie Elliott is correct.
As soon as he said it, I knew who it was.
Wow. So we're missing a full-back and 2 midfielders?
You are missing... Now, Robbie Elliott was the one I'm not sure about. Was he permanent?
No.
I think he was loan.
He was the one I wasn't sure about. The one who's left was definitely a loan. And you've got the 2 midfielders that did a decent job in our first year in the Championship.
In League One.
In League One, sorry.
I think I've got one of them.
I can't go into too much more
just
detail
leave that for a
about
minute.
the defender.
If we get a couple more wrong, then give us a better clue.
Seb Carroll.
Seb Carroll is correct. He played that game.
Good shout.
2 in a row.
And as it stands, the scores are now Jack, having lost about fucking 12 lives, has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has got 7. Casey losing about fucking 112. Is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 6-5 at the moment.
It's 6-5.
I thought you just said you had 7.
1, 2,
He did say 7.
I did say 7 and you have got 7. Shut up.
So what, there's 2 to get?
2 to get.
So Casey could tie.
Yep. And
But
then I will throw out who was the unused sub goalkeeper to win it.
Unused sub-goalkeeper.
No, don't do that yet.
No,
So yeah, 1 midfielder and 1 defender.
yeah, and the defender. You see, I'm trying to think because, like, in League One we had like fucking 9 midfielders, and I can't remember most of the names right now.
I'm on my fingers here. Just I'm reeling off centre mids that I'm certain didn't play.
Now this is a real struggle. This I just cannot come up with. To be honest, I'll just allow Casey to guess again. I've got nothing.
What I will do then now at this point,
Yeah, because he went first. Yeah.
the midfielder was initially a loan that was made permanent. The defender was in his 2nd spell with the club.
I've got again the name I've got for midfielder. I don't think was there yet, but I can't think of what else.
Go for it.
Well,
I'm happy for you to take a chance here.
I thought we signed him the next season, but he was loan and permanent. Kilkenny.
Incorrect.
No,
Yeah.
Kilkenny was loan and permanent in the same season.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe he was loan and permanent within the space of about 3 days.
Oh, I know, but I just can't think of anyone else.
Right. Honestly, this list of midfielders I've put together that I know didn't play for us, it's ridiculous. You see, the defender was in their 2nd spell.
Yes. Both loans. And I believe both times from
Oh,
the
it's
same
Michael
club.
Gray.
Michael Gray
You know
is
what?
correct.
Oh,
I was umming and ahhing between Michael Gray and Robbie Elliott, and I didn't think it could be both.
Yeah, our back 4 that day was Hayden Fox, Rui Marquez, Robbie Elliott and Michael Gray.
We went down, didn't we?
shocking. No wonder we moved Richard Cresswell back.
So Jack to take it.
Yeah, I've still got fucking nothing here, mate, I'm afraid. Midfielder.
Midfielder, he was on loan, got made permanent, had been playing in the Champions League, I believe, maybe the season before we signed him, if not definitely 2
What?
years before.
This is
A couple of years
madness.
before he'd been in the Champions League.
Yes.
I mean,
And also played at club level alongside Roy Keane.
I do have one. No, I have one name, but no, we never signed him permanent.
Not Miller.
It's not Liam Miller. That's
It's not Liam
It's
Miller.
like, because he fits that profile. It was like, no, we never signed him. Oh, God. Has he got it?
I've got it.
Okay, so tie it up by all means.
Alan Thompson.
Alan Thompson is correct.
I should have got that.
Celtic, Roy
Yeah.
Keane, yeah. So
I think that's fair that I think has ended up 7 apiece because we both didn't do great.
yeah. So
just to delay the misery a bit longer.
with it now tied at 7-all, I'm happy to throw it out there. Unused substitute goalkeeper that day.
This is the season we had about 8, isn't it?
Yep.
Graham Stack.
You're saying Graham Stark, Casey?
I think that might be early in the season. I have got a new. Oh, I know it could have been actually.
You can give the same answer
I'm
if
going to
you
go Neil
want.
Sullivan.
Jack wins it.
Ooh,
Neil Sullivan had gone to Doncaster by that point.
with Sam Hurd.
Yes, with Sam Hurd. So
He wouldn't have been a bad shout actually.
To be honest, I was umming and ahhing over Sam Hurd.
Yeah.
So Jack takes it 8-7 after what feels like a week.
45 minutes we'll never get back.
That I am not kidding. Honestly, I apologise.
I don't.
If-
Revenge is best served sweet, and this is what you get for both fucking beating me.
Well, as that, instead of being the quick 5-minute job we expected, ended up probably, I have no idea how long. I'm going to be conservative and say half an hour. We'll do as 2 previews in a relatively quick manner because we're probably already on like an hour and a half for podcast. So we don't play this weekend because we got knocked out. So Tuesday 30th of January we're away at Hull. It's a beam back at the ground. They're 21st with 25 points from 28. Last 5, lost 1-0 at Sunderland, drew 0-0 with Reading, beat Blackburn in the FA Cup, lost at Bolton, 2-2 draw at Fulham. The last game was the 23rd of December, I think, just before Christmas. Hernandez's chip, 1-0. They haven't changed any of the squad. They've still got half of Chelsea's youth team at back, Callum McGregor in goal, John Terrell, Jackson Irving, Grzycki's good, and a few good strikers, Nuadico, Diamandi, Hernandez, Campbell. What do you reckon to their squad and what do you reckon the score will be?
On paper, it don't look too bad a squad, really. I know it's not quite gone to plan for them even, but if we turn up and play out like our fancy is to turn them over, definitely.
As well as Sunderland, did I predict Hull to do well this season?
You might have
You
done.
might have done. I mean, you predicting... At the end of this... Well, I'm not going to because it'd be unfair, but I ought to basically take off every point you get for saying Sunderland would get promoted. It might be the worst.
Did I say they'd win the league?
I think you got them down a second.
This time. It's only January.
It's just a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good. Did you say a scoring comment?
No, I didn't.
Oh, we meant to do scores, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to win 2-0.
I'm going to say same result as at Ellen Road, 1-0 Lloyds.
Yeah, again, it is a bit weird because their squad looks better than it is, but not playing well. However, I know we've got a history of away 2-2 draws at Hull on a Tuesday night, so I'm going to say 2-2. Not going to use logic, I'm just going to use fuck it, it's happened before. Because I've been using logic lately and none of us have got one right for about 4 games.
Snodgrass free kick. That'll be the equaliser.
Yeah.
Do well considering he's at Villa.
Well. Tuesday's a long way away, my friend, in the transfer window.
Yeah. And after that, on the Saturday, we've got Cardiff. And to be honest, we have nothing written down on the notes because we were planning on doing another podcast before that, and then we've just remembered that KC's in Belfast for a couple of days. So that's become more difficult.
Broadening my horizons.
Yeah. Yeah, their squad, though, I mean, they're third in league still.
They're the worst team
I have
in the
no
top
idea
6.
how.
No.
Got nothing squad. I mean, Kenneth Sahori's good. And they've got a couple of decent players in midfield, but... And they've got Colin. Oh, I hate
Fucking wanker.
I hate him so much.
I wouldn't mind. Like, you watch them play and they're just so bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing about them that is in any way endearing. It is, especially as a coach, it is the worst brand of football to watch.
Yeah.
But we'll,
Actually, no, as a fan, it's the worst brand of football to watch.
Yeah, that's it. The problem is we've got confidence, but because it's a home game, we still won't have any of the 4 players back. But hopefully by then, that's after window shuts, so we should definitely have someone in, at least one more. I'm going to say it's a bit like other year. I'm going to say we play crap and win 1-0.
I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I can't see us beating them.
I'm going to say there's going to be goals in it. I'm going to say 2-2.
All right.
Yeah.
I know,
but it's going to be good because I used to manage at Leeds, and I think they like me up there. I brought Steve Morrison, and we all had a good laugh, didn't we? And I've gone back to Suzanne and told her, and go back to the farm in Devon. Fuck off, Warnock.
Farm in Devon. I wish someone had put him out to pasture.
Not
kill him, just stop managing football clubs.
Is Suzanne his wife? Or am I mixing it up with Ken's wife?
I honestly don't remember.
I don't want to be libelled for anything here.
I don't think that's libel. I think that's just it's either correct or incorrect. I don't think it's libel.
Just didn't want to make it sound like he was swapping with Ken.
And on that chilling image, that's going to be the new badge.
God.
Ken, Warnock, your mum.
I won't be able to wear a shirt again.
Right, that'll do us, I reckon.
Sorry.
Because everyone's dying.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that'll do us for episode 15 at Mighty White's podcast. Your fans on Twitter at Mighty White's Pod. The stuff we write is on Through It All Together, which is at THRU, It All LUFC. Sorry, the end of that was a bit curtailed. It all went wrong due to Connie making the Who Playeds so incredibly difficult. The next podcast will probably be shortly after the Cardiff game, so 4th, 5th, 6th, sometime around then. With any luck, by the time we next talk to you, we'll 1 have had a couple of decent results and 2 have signed a striker. Yeah. But for now, I've been Jack. See ya.
I've been Connie. See ya.
I've been Casey. See you later.
Cheers.